So there's some really important big picture things to get right on Amazon. If you go into the wrong patch of Amazon and end up trying to sell weight loss supplements or yoga mats, you're going to have a pretty rough time of it. While on the other hand, there's some really nice little quiet niches where I find all my top products and I keep coming back to, and I'm really happy to share these with you because there's so many products available in all of these niches and plenty of room for everyone. So let's run through some of my favorite subcategories or themes of products on Amazon that'll just help you guide you into a direction where you'll have a bit more of a tailwind, a bit less resistance, maybe a bit less competition, and just generally have a more profitable and easier time of it. So let's get started. So one of my favorite categories is home decor. So when I think about what the typical Amazon seller's background is, the methods that they use with sort of software tools to pick a product or copy a bestseller, there's not a lot of creativity or imagination or style going on there. Yet a lot of people are shopping on Amazon to furnish their homes or give a housewarming gift or decorate a child's nursery or all these sort of home decor products are fantastic. They're often very simple from a technical point of view. If it looks like a mirror and it's in a particular frame, then that's what it is when it turns up. There's the dimensions and the materials, but there's not really a lot of moving parts. They're really nice high price products too. So there's lots of $50 plus type items, even things like flat pack furniture or wall hangings or some sorts of products that people might give for a housewarming gift. Those can be really high price, low competition, and really stylish products. So you don't want to go too far out on a limb with some really crazy design. Stick to the themes and the general styles that are popular on Amazon. Do your research on that. But certainly as a category, this is one of my favorites. So have a good dig around in home decor when you're product hunting. Another thing that I like in a product is the potential to turn the product into a subscription box. So this is the model that some of you might know, companies like Birchbox or Barkbox. They've been very clever at finding other people's sample size products to include in a monthly box that they charge their customers for, so $40 a month, and they'll receive a box full of goodies related to that theme. So the Birchbox is full of beauty products and different ones each month. The Barkbox is full of dog toys, different treats and toys and dog food and things each month. And it's a really neat business model because when you sell a subscription box, instead of it being valued at about 3 times the net profit, a subscription box gets valued at about 12 times the net profit because there's so much future income guaranteed. It's locked in with those recurring credit card payments. So a product like knitting supplies or chocolate of the month club, or I've done a tea subscription box before, those sorts of products where you can mix and match products on a theme. People have replenishable supplies that they need topped up, or they've just got a hobby and they make that product and they're ready to do the next project, or it's a food product. There's a company called Graze that does healthy snacks as a subscription box, but they're really neat. Just when you come to sell them, they get valued at such a high price. So if you've got all other things equal in one product, you could turn into a subscription box. Have a look, do some research on Cratejoy, see if there's already subscription boxes in that niche. Have a look at what they've done well, and that might inspire you to do a really good job of a subscription product on Amazon. You can even do a subscription offer through Amazon called Subscribe and Save, which just locks in your customers to recurring monthly payments, which is brilliant for your cash flow, brilliant for your valuation, and makes your inventory planning so much easier than doing something seasonal or that's just gifty and given once a year at Christmas. So subscription boxes are fantastic. Now, food is a category that keeps a lot of people away, which is exactly why it appeals to me so much. Firstly, as with some of the subscription box businesses ideas, it's a consumable product. So once people have eaten these figs, they'll need more figs. Once they've used up the tahini, they'll get more. But instead of it being a bucket of the cheapest, most generic commodity style tahini, these are flavoured ones in nice jars and a nice gift box. So really kind of good health products. People are investing in their health. They're not just going to, get food as fuel. They actually are really carefully choosing something they want. This pack of figs here is organic, so you charge a premium for that. Charge a premium for a gift set. Lots of those boutique foods, the numbers are really, really good. Again, it's got subscription potential. In some products, The margins might not be so good, but there is the fact that they're all repeat purchases, which is great. So if I had to choose between kitchenware and food, I would choose food. But of course, you do need to have the right kind of supplier. So they need to have all the FDA certificates. If they're saying they're organic, you need to see all that paperwork. So a few extra little hurdles as a one-off. But once you're on the other side and got some food products moving, you'll be really glad you started those. It's a great category on Amazon, and it's one that's very low competition often. Certainly I've seen some great products there when I've been doing research recently. So food is a great one too. So the next one that is kind of fun stuff, things like kits or gifty type products. So these are very, very small, very, very light products here as well. So anything that's very tiny but very high value. So a bag of dog farts, cotton candy, or these bonsai starter kits, they're minuscule, really light. So your shipping fees both into Amazon and as part of your FBA fees, you kind of really get that advantage of having low fees. So that is another good one to look for. As soon as you get into big bulky products, which you might in home decor, you've just got to have a really high price point to make the numbers work. So both are good, but being somewhere in the middle is usually the worst. So go either high end and a bit bulkier or very small and light. Now, products that relate to somebody's identity or a part of something that a very wealthy demographic really cares about and is willing to spend money showing people that they care about animal cruelty, or they want to be vegan, or they want to have everything organic. So anything where you can make that perceived value higher, maybe it's handmade, that could be another way to make the product a higher perceived value. And you're not just charging for the soap, you're charging for the essential oils and the gift box and the variety pack, or the wood might be safe for palm, oil deforestation, or it's not destroying habitats of endangered species. And some of those sorts of products where there's like an ethical angle, or somebody's just making a stance, or even like kind of a political statement, something that people really care about and it's part of what they talk about and how they identify themselves, they can be great Amazon products too. Now this is a bit of a wacky one, spiritual products, which is all about things like tarot cards or crystals. These are not obvious products for your typical Amazon seller, but there's a market out there for products like this that spends a lot of money. So one is that there's often not that kind of shop on your high street, so where would you go to buy this stuff? Also, there's maybe a bit of an element of being a bit sheepish or embarrassed about buying these things. They're not really mainstream. And while there's, the feel-good factor, people are, hoping this tarot reading is going to give them a clear answer, there's not really any responsibility or there's not any kind of product risk. They're pretty simple as far as the physical product itself goes, but people are going to, dream of achieving enlightenment or some kind of spiritual transformation by using these products. So when they're presented well and you do a good job of the branding and presentation, these products can sell for really, really good prices and often have very low competition. They're not obvious for your typical Amazon seller. Pets is always a category that people just go bonkers for, and not just things for their existing pets. So there's things that dog owners need, but there's things that people who are just mad about pugs will buy even if they don't have a pug. There's the cat people go a bit crazy too. I'm more of a dog and horse person myself, but when you've got a pet, you really do spend irrationally on them. They're part of the family and they get a present like everyone else, and they have consumable supplies, and they get dressed up and taken out and shown off, and they travel, and all those things need gear. So great category to sell products in. Also, it's unrestricted. There's a lot of products that the human equivalent would need regulatory approval, but the pet version's open. So sometimes there's good products there with low compliance, but still people willing to pay a premium for them. Now, another great demographic is for the elderly. So one thing, when you think about who's shopping on Amazon, how and why, people who find it hard to get out of the house, they obviously benefit massively from the convenience of Amazon's prompt and free delivery. So it might be difficult, they might be isolated, they might be living on their own, they might be immobile, they might just need boring heavy supplies, and an old lady doesn't need to be carrying 20 kilograms of potatoes home. You can get that heavy, bulky stuff delivered if you're a bit frail, or using some sort of assisted mobility device. It sounded very scripted. I don't know what you really call them. Anyway, if you're in any kind of wheelchair or walker or got walking sticks, then carrying shopping around's just tough. So either you can come up with some clever devices like these carry cases that people who have got some supporting gear can use with their crutches or wheelchairs or whatever, or you can just help them buy the things they need from home. There's not a lot of elderly Amazon sellers for some reason. There's a lot of people in their 20s, 30s, 40s selling on Amazon, but I don't know many octogenarian Amazon sellers. And people tend to sell products that they use themselves. So often if you pick a demographic that's not well represented amongst the Amazon sellers, the products that they buy are low competition. So that's just something to think about. A lot of the products I've done well with are bought by women. Not sure why that is, but just noticed that pattern. Any products that support expensive hobbies are great. So we've got, people really passionate about their favourite activities, how they spend their weekend prepping for survival or falconry or polo or yachting or, really things like light aviation, pilots, kneeboards and things. These sorts of products are great because they're being sold to a demographic who's got plenty of budget. Not only are they more willing to spend, they're less likely to refund. So they're really good customers and they need quality and they don't necessarily care about the brand. For some things they would, like a golf club, but for other things, they're really just going to want to see that the product's been prepared to a very high standard and presented well and is quality and has good reviews. So lots of opportunities to sell products related to expensive hobbies or gifts for women. Just as I mentioned before, this is a great category. A lot of gift shopping gets done on Amazon because the person buying the gift knows it will arrive on time. It'll look exactly like it does in the picture. The shipping's probably free, and when they say it's going to arrive in time for Granny's birthday, it will. So really, really huge spikes of sales for Amazon sellers in Q4 as we run into Christmas. Even Halloween or Mother's Day, all those seasonal things throughout the year really spike up the gift sales, and people buy birthday gifts all year round, christening gifts, wedding gifts, anything gifty is good, and gifts for women seem to go particularly well. On the other extreme, bulky and boring stuff is great too. So something that's really boring to go out shopping for, there's zero fun in going shopping for bulk paper towels or some gardening supplies or bulk food. If it's cheaper to get it delivered and you don't need to lug it all home, then people will happily do that. So the challenge there is just the cost of the shipping is going to be high. So you need to have a high price point and you need to have a point of difference with the product too. So we cover point of difference ideas in a whole separate training module, but this is just giving you some general themes to stick with when you're choosing that first product. So there's a few things there just to kind of whet your appetite. You don't have to follow these. These are some of the patterns I've noticed of my own successful products and other people who I've seen do really well on Amazon. These are the kinds of products that people sell. They're not doing supplements. The people in supplements say they're making great sales, but they're just not making great profits often. They're just, having to compete so hard to cut through all the noise, all the other sellers, all the other ads that are running and paying for those pay-per-click ads. So anything that's competitive, the price comes down fast and the ad spend goes up fast. And if it's really high volume, then those manufacturers who are wherever they're based in the world, who notice that their Amazon clients are sending out a container a week, start to get in on the act and start selling it themselves. So I much prefer an under-the-radar, less obvious product than going for the main big blockbusters and trying to copy those. So if your supplier in China could reproduce your product very easily without you, there's nothing particularly special about your brand apart from some basic packaging, then you should be feeling pretty exposed and be trying to think of a product that's a bit harder to copy and a bit less obvious to copy. So I've never had a product copied out of over 500, probably nearly 1,000 different products now. So it's always been worth it for me to do a little bit more legwork, choosing the product, building a relationship with the supplier, getting an exclusive agreement with the supplier eventually, but really focusing on the quality of the supply chain and a unique product that has a point of difference. If you've got a Me Too, same product, you're going to just end up competing on price. So even if there's just a couple of other sellers who've got a lot to lose when you turn up on the scene, they will be really aggressive with their pricing when you show up. So don't get caught in that trap. It's completely avoidable. There's lots and lots of good products in those ones that we've run through today. So just to recap, we'll go back through in reverse order. Bulky and boring, gifts for women, expensive hobbies, falconry and sailing and polo and all those sorts of things. Products for the elderly, great big demographic shopping online now in a big way. Pet products, fantastic. Spiritual products are great, low competition and kind of simple products in themselves. The physical, state is pretty simple. Vegan products or anything to do with people's identity or a very wealthy demographic. So people that do triathlons, I mean, that probably should be in the wealthy sport, the expensive hobbies category. But anything where to participate, people have to have a decent budget to play that game. So either products that people really care about or where they really care about their image to do with an activity. Small and light's great because you just get such an advantage with the shipping fees. And food is a great category, really overlooked by too many people, I think. It's a great one. Subscription boxes are just winners with the exit price, but also just the steady cash flow and repeat purchasing and just a really neat business to build up. You could have 12 vaguely related products, wheel them out over a year each month, and that's a subscription business. So just with a bit of planning, you can turn a handful of related products under one brand into a really cool subscription box. And then the first one I mentioned was home decor, so lots and lots of products there. It really suits Amazon. People, see the picture and it's exactly what it's like when it turns up. So simple products, and it's again a category where people really don't care about the big brand names. You don't buy a mirror because of the brand name on it, or a wall hanging. You care what it looks like and the material it's made from and the size, but not really anything else. So it really suits private labeling. So I hope that's useful in giving you some tips and a bit of a roadmap of where to head for as you start your Amazon journey, but certainly keep well clear of things like yoga mats, water bottles, supplements, baby products. Any of those unrestricted categories can just have a lot more sellers in them. Kitchen gadgets tends to be very crowded as well. Anything gimmicky, fidget spinners, vegetable spiralizers, that kind of thing. It's here today, gone tomorrow. Well, there'll still be a few around, but they don't keep peaking. They peak and then they fall away and don't do anything too trendy or too seasonal. So good luck. There's lots and lots of products out there. Just get a really systematic way of gathering up ideas and evaluating them, and you'll soon be comparing a few good potential options and picking one and launching it and starting to see the sales. So enjoy that process. It's great fun, and when you start, you'll be so glad you did. But I do realise it's daunting at the beginning, so hopefully this has given you a few ideas of some nice, easy wins to get started. Thanks.